Okay, hi everybody that's turned up today. We're the Economic Society at the University of Birmingham. You can't see me on the screen because my camera's broken, I do apologise. But I'm Beth, I'm the president this year, and we've never been part of EPS at all before, so this is our first time presenting. If you're interested in the Economic Society, we do way more than just talk about economics. We focus on career events, academic events, sports events, and so much more. And we're just going to take a little bit of time to go through all of this with you guys.
You can have a look at the category.
I've just spoken. Did it?
Any better? Hello? Oh, great. Okay, sorry, I've just done the whole introduction spiel and nobody heard it. Hi, I'm Beth, by the way. I'm the president for the Economic Society, and we're really excited to be presenting today because it's a great opportunity to show the amount of stuff we do as the Economic Society, which is beyond just talking economics. We're going to take a few points in this little meeting here just to go through what we do. Big thing for us, we're fun, inclusive, and for this year, we are free. So there's genuinely no cost to join our society, only benefits. So please check out the rest of the slides and we shall tell you so much more. Dom. Dom.
Right, hello. Few technical difficulties there, but I'm not sure what's going on, but we're just gonna go with it and see how it goes. So my name's Dom, and basically my focus in eConsult this year is for the academic side of things. And essentially that means, well, academic and external speakers really. And basically my aim is to develop society members' understanding really of what opportunities there are with an economics related background. Obviously, by no means, you know, this is restricted to those necessarily with an economics degree. Economics is a very broad field, and there are a lot of opportunities to enter it, you know, from various backgrounds. And essentially what my role encompasses in a nutshell is twofold. So so the academic side is essentially I am working a bit more closely with the department this year. It's a bit of a pilot project, but the aim is to sort of shine a bit of a light on what departmental staff do research-wise, just so that students in the future can look back and go, okay, so this was my lecturer for macro first year. Oh yeah, I know what he or she does, you know, research-wise outside of just teaching me. And it's just, yeah, and it's sort of that sort of field is really just about trying to get students to have a better understanding of what they do. The external speaker side of things, so this is a little bit more ambitious, I would say. And this is where essentially I will go out and contact, not go out, sorry, you know, email out and contact external speakers and try and get them in to shine a light on what they do professionally as an economist or what their research entails. So, and because of the nature of this year, it's a bit weird, you know, usually, excuse me, in the past, the society has had in-person speakers, but obviously it's a bit, you know, weird this year to say the least. So my aim is basically just to get a couple of people in each term to do virtual talks on, you know, what they do, what their role encompasses, etc., etc. Similar to the lecturer side of things, but, you know, for professional economists who are in the private sector or research focusing governmental sector as well, just to sort of get that broad understanding of, you know, what the academic side of economics is and also what economists do in the field as well. I'll speak quickly a little bit about careers. Jack is the guy who does it. Basically, so basically careers is very similar, and if anything, I would say the external speaker side is sort of complementary to that. The focus is basically to develop, you know, the opportunities that the society members have to get engaged with opportunities for internships. So, you know, it's letting people know what opportunities are out there. So, for example, on the screen you can see Frontier Economics. They sponsor us this year, and they're a very well accredited firm, and they offer internship opportunities for students as well. And in the past, we've had events with, well, we've promoted events with PwC, networking events. There's a Women in Economics Virtual Careers Fair as well. And Jack's also done some Q&A style sessions with people based in finance. So essentially, you know, in a nutshell, we're really trying to be broad in what we cover, just so that students this year, you know, given everything that's going on and the rest of it, at least still have some sort of an opportunity to develop their, I suppose, their academic interests in economics, and also the opportunities that they can have professionally too. I'm just going to go on to the next slide, and I'll pass you back to Beth.
Yeah, so academics and careers are really important for us as a society, because obviously we are the Economic Society, is a core academic area specialty. But what's also really important for us is sport. Sport is a way for us to socialise, it's a way for us to get exercise, it's a way to have happier minds and everything like that. So within the society, we fund 5 campus league sports teams. Now, these campus league sports teams are fully funded by the society. They do take up a very large portion of our budget every year, but we decided that it was the best way to invest our money. So sport at Economic Society has 3 football teams, which includes 2 6-a-sides and 1 11-a-side. We also have a netball team, which is mixed. And as of last year, we created our very first hockey team, which has actually gone down really well and is one of our most popular signups this year. Football is run by 2 of the captains who at the moment are basically trialing everyone through the games. So if you're interested in sport at all, drop them a message. They will play you in certain games. They'll give you an opportunity to play. And then by second term, we'll have decided a squad. Trials have been cancelled this year because of coronavirus, unsurprisingly. When it comes to hockey, we will be having training every Tuesday. This is currently in the works, being sorted out, because obviously pitch booking is more complicated this year. And the same goes again for Thursday netball. But if you have any interest in any of these activities, please check out our Facebook page. There have been posts for all of the squad pages where you can just get in contact with the captains or the sports director, who will be more than happy to answer all and any of your questions. Next slide. There we go. Socials this year are also really important for getting to know each other. My best mates are my course mates, and that's because I got to meet them at economics social. So that's really important in that sense. Obviously, they are going to be different this year, especially in first term. They definitely won't be bar crawls and they won't be big nights out, but we'll be running certain smaller socials, hopefully, probably trying to avoid the generic Zoom ones, because we know personally that everyone's really bored of them. But we will keep our members up to date as possible in terms of what we can run, and we're trying our best to get something in personal before the end of this term. Next. A really big thing for us this year that we're really pushing, we've created a new role within our society called the BAME officer. Her name is Camille. She's really excited and really eager to push BAME within the economics community. We're looking at having specific BAME led events. We have partnered up with the Black Economist Society, which is a UK wide run group. Please, if you are interested in this at all, screenshot this right now so you can see all the contact details and connect. As well as BAME, we also have an international rep, so that reps the same sort of area. So she's currently in China, hence the time difference, and she couldn't make it here today. But it's really key for us to make sure that all of our members, wherever they're from, wherever their focus is, as English students compared to international students, we have different demands and different wants from the society. Internationals wanted more of a focus on masters applications, so we're looking at getting that ready for next term. Whereas home students are much more interested in socials, and then there's the career events and everything like that. So inclusivity is really key, and it's one of the 3 pillars our society is held up on. So if you're from any of these areas or just interested in finding out more, please screenshot the screen to find out who to contact. So this is our final thing that I'm going to mention today. We have a buddy system within the Economic Society. We started it up last year and it was really successful in the sense of it made it easier to communicate with years around you. There's nothing more stressful sometimes than realizing it's the deadline for module choices and trying to read through PowerPoints that don't really make sense to decipher what you want to take. So the whole idea is we match up people with similar interests, similar academic choices and stuff like that, and you talk and you help. So we released our family system yesterday, but there is still plenty of space to add members or even a whole new family if more people want to sign up. There's no restriction on it in that sense. So if you're interested, sign up. We will be having an escape rooms as a social for the families, where as a family you have to escape online. So if you're interested, just sign up. I'll hand over for Dom to just go through the booklet.
Right, hello. Yeah, so just talk a bit about the Freshers booklet we've done this year as well. So essentially, this is the first year where we've really tried to, I suppose, have a concrete collection of what we do and what we provide to our society's society members, value-wise as well. And essentially, we're aiming to have it printed, but obviously it's all a bit weird this year. So for the time being, we've got the Google Drive link that's there. So if you look back on this, you might be able to access that. But essentially, the idea is to give freshers in particular a better idea about what we do as a society, and who we are and what we offer. And we're hopefully it will set a good groundwork for us going forward, so that, you know, people are a bit more clued on to what we do and yeah, what we can offer really. It is very cool, I must say. It's a cool design, and a lot of effort has gone into it, and it's yeah, it's been produced very well. I'm just going to pass you back off to Beth now, just to round off.
So that's the total presentation for our society. We're really proud of what we've achieved so far, and we really want to encourage members to join us as much as possible, because like we said at the beginning, we are free this year to join, and there's so many opportunities that can come with the advertisement from our membership, including free entry to sports teams, free entry to academic events, free entry to careers events, and so much more support as well. If you have any questions, please ask us. If not, contact us on our Facebook page.
There we go. I think if everyone can hear me, I hope everyone can. A second. There we go. Oh. So yeah, we're the University of Birmingham Consulting Society. So a quick overview of what consulting is for any of you that don't know. In short, consulting helps businesses optimize their performance by providing them with expertise. An organisation comes to a consultancy firm with a problem, and it's the consultant's job to provide a recommended solution. So this can be anything from financial to expanding the business. Projects include working at Heathrow, or when they want to build a new runway, things like that. There's a whole range of things that businesses do and use consultants for. So who can be a consultant? So most firms do not have specific degree requirements for applicants. All backgrounds are welcome as long as you achieve a minimum 2-1. Even if you're unsure if you can achieve that 2-1 this year, it's always worth applying anyway, because sometimes they do accept you lower, but most of the time it is a minimum 2-1. They are accepted. But even if you just want to come along to our skills sessions and things like that, it would still be a great experience for you to use in whatever jobs you go into in the future. You need to be able to demonstrate an interest in business and soft skills like leadership and communication. Again, the skills that come through our sessions, which I'll talk about in a second, really do benefit you. You look at being a bit more analytical, and it's just a good range of skills that you can use in any of the other jobs. And as it says, our work experience is beneficial. I am working on something that should help provide more work experience to people in the future, but it's not up and running yet, but we are getting there. So the sectors that you can work in with consulting, there are different types, from strategy to human resources. You can consult businesses from a wide range of sectors, including transportation and retail, depending on your firm. And if you want to specialise straight away, a background in that area is usually required. That's mainly for sort of like computing, So you can have computer scientists, consultants, and now check over websites, making sure they're secure, checking your servers, things like that. You've also got consultants that can also be medical consultants as well. So they do come under the same range, but that's not really what we specialise in at the moment. So the events that we hold, usually we hold case study sessions with consultants allowing you to practice your analytical skills and presenting in front of a professional. So what will happen is you'll go to a session and then the company will put a bit about themselves, about the grad opportunities that are available to you. And then for the final hour of the session, you get put into little groups. Currently, we're working on transferring this to a Zoom format. We're not entirely sure how it will work yet. We're working through a few companies on getting that set up. And then what you'll be doing is then you'll go work in your little teams. Everyone will have a role, everyone will have something to do. And then you'll put together a final idea for a pod for what to achieve what the company wants. So I've done one in the past where it's a company that's looking to buy another smaller company. How would that merger take place? And it's looking at, okay, who's got the better airports? Whose staff are the best? Who's just checking the chat. Okay. Sorry. It came up. So yeah, it's all about looking at the business as a whole, and then it's only 1 hour. It's nothing like a real job. It's nothing like the real opportunity, but it is great experience for you. And employers do use that as part of their process of picking out the applicants for the grad opportunities and internships as well. So we invite consultants from various companies for Q&As and networking sessions. So last year we did one in combination with Careers Network. We're working on setting up a couple of Q&As and networking sessions this year as well. So that'll be just, you come along, everyone will introduce themselves, I'll have a bit of a chat with them about what they do, and then everyone will just fire away questions to them in front of the whole room. And then for the final 15-20 minutes, you get to talk to them about their own opportunities, anything that you don't want to talk to them about in front of everyone else. Then you can go up and talk to them at the front of the room. And then it's a really great way to, you know, talk to people, find out a bit more, and networking is always great in any form of discipline. So our upcoming events, so I had a meeting with ATOS yesterday, and we've also been working with BDO on hosting events towards the end of this semester and next semester. As I said, it's tough with everything moving to Zoom, but we are working on putting on events through the applicable routes that we can do. We're also putting together an experience and graduate job calendar, so you're up to date with opportunities available. That should be finished very soon, so hopefully we'll get that up on our page, and hopefully we'll promote it through Careers Network and maybe through EPS as well. So that'll have all the opportunities for second years and third years, we're hoping, and maybe some first years ones. We're not entirely sure at the moment what's going on with those. And hopefully it'll just be a big calendar, and you can just go through and transfer it to your own calendar. We're also planning a consulting competition with universities from around the globe, the opportunity to gain experience in consulting. So this is something we're looking at putting on at the end of the month. There's a few different universities from around the world. We've got university in India. We've got a university, I believe it was France, but I can't 100% sure because that's someone else's role at the moment, taking over that. And then we've also got the University of Leeds as well are involved. So it'll be a really great experience. I'll be making teams. I'll be making teams of people. And then you'll be going up against them online in the Zoom form. You'll be working in little groups outside of the Zoom, but then you'll be presenting in front of everyone, including professionals from BITS, who are a consulting firm in India. So finally, tonight we are hosting an EGM for the society. We're looking at filling any remaining roles that we have for the group. They'll be converting on new committee positions, including project manager and brand outreach. But we've also got existing positions such as secretary and treasurer that are available to people if this sounds like something you're interested in. Have a look at our Facebook page, University of Birmingham Consultancy Group, for more information. So then you'll be able to find us on there. It's that exact name on Facebook, and then everything about the EGM will be there, and everything in future about any events or anything, we'll always put it straight on there as well. So yeah, thank you. So there's at the top of the page our Facebook if I could actually spell university for University of Birmingham, because I do group on the Facebook, then yeah. Alex has asked me what made me join the society. So at the end of first year, I was looking at what jobs I'd want to go into, and I wasn't really sure at the end of first year what I wanted to do after university. I didn't want a job where I was just sat indoors doing the same thing every single week. So when I found out about the Consulting Society, what consulting is you're doing maybe 4 projects in a year, 3 months on each one. Sometimes you're traveling, but sometimes you're also just working from behind a computer in the office, but you can be working from home. It's just that change of nothing's the same. Like every year, you're not coming back doing the exact same job. You'll be doing different projects, sometimes with different teams of people. And it's just that mesh of, familiarity that what you're doing in your job, and you're using the same skills, but you're applying it to different ways to different companies and helping different people achieve what they want to achieve. And I think that's what's really important for me, is that it's not the same all the time. I need to have that change. University, one semester to another, you've got different modules. You just need to shake it up a bit. It doesn't get stale that way. And then it just seems like a much more fun job than sitting in an office all the time. What are the biggest benefits of joining this society for new students? So I said we are working at bringing in companies to do events with us, and it would improve your skills for any discipline that you're looking to go into. If you are looking at consulting, then the skills will really be beneficial. As I said, our skills sessions that we try and put on with people, where we're analysing case studies and working with professionals, you can go into the event and then you'll do the analytics and everything, you'll do the event, and then afterwards you'll get feedback from a professional there and then. So you sort of know, okay, I didn't look at that from quite the right side. I need to look at it this way, or maybe my presenting, I was talking a bit too quickly, I need to calm down, I need to think about this part more than that part. I think it really does give it really is beneficial for you in all different ways. If you're looking to go into a job in the future, that you can do that. Grace has asked me, do you find many companies you work with who are looking for science and engineering students? Really, yes, we do. Even though you might think of it as more of a business discipline, a lot of people go into it from science and engineering. I know last year, out of our members, around half of them were in science and engineering. So it really is good that people are coming in, and you really can go into it from any way. Like if there are people from the arts, they can also go in as well. Like you don't need to be in one specific degree. It really is a big range, and then your skills from your degree really are what elevates you to the next level. Tausif has asked, is there any room to apply AI and machine learning and analysing data? Yes, there is. So AI and machine learning, analysing data. So some roles that you apply for, I'll type it in a second as well, but some of the roles that you apply for, if they want you to move into analytics, I know EY have a couple of programs, Accenture do, and I think so ATOS as well. They have some roles where they're more around the computer consultancy based. So then if you have the AI and machine learning already, they can also help you learn more to that in analysing the data. And then there really is specialist teams for that sort of thing if you are looking to go into it. The thing to do is, if you're looking for that specifically, go onto the websites and then just look through all their job roles and internship opportunities. I'm sure there'll be a few at different companies that you can apply for that will match exactly what you're looking to do. Is there anything else? Yeah. Is there anything else that anyone has to ask me about? Ooh. Grace just said, can I put my links in the chat? Yes, I will do that in a second once I manage to get them up. Yeah, I think that is all from me for now. I'll just put the links down in the chat for you all. Ooh, I don't. Yep. No worries. Thank you. I don't know how to stop screen sharing. Oh dear.
Okay, I think we're gonna start in a second. Okay, welcome to the Global Engineering Brigades talk. So we've got some slides, we're just going to go through them and kind of give an introduction into what Global Brigades is and how you can help.
So Global Brigades has had other chapters in Birmingham, such as medical, but the engineering chapter was started in the middle of last year. Unfortunately, due to COVID, they were not able to go on the in-person brigade this past summer. The new committee was selected at the end of the year to continue growing the society and are planned for an in-person brigade next summer, as well as the option for a tele-brigade. Global Brigades is a highly recognised international sustainable development organisation that uniquely implements a holistic model to meet a community's health and economic goals. Our model systematically builds community ownership and collaboratively executes programmes with the end goal of sustainably transitioning to a relationship of impact monitoring. Sorry guys, Ella's internet went. So Global Brigades empowers university student-led chapters to improve health and economic outcomes in under-resourced communities around the world with the support of experienced on-the-ground teams and community partners. Each programme has a defined focus in medical, dental, business, public health, water, engineering or legal empowerment programme impact. All involved are working toward our Empowered 100 initiative, a commitment to support 100 rural, Central American and West African communities that represent about 65,000 persons to permanently rise out of global poverty through 3 core components: healthcare, WASH, and economic development. These components correspond to 6 goals for an empowered community and align with United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Number 3 is good health and well-being. Number 6 is clean water and sanitation. And number 8 is decent work and economic growth. The goal is to create a blueprint to help rural poverty in our lifetime.
So Global Brigades is an international non-profit that empowers communities to meet their health and economic goals through university volunteers and local teams.
So their mission is to empower volunteers and under-resourced communities to resolve global health and economic disparities and inspired all involved to collaboratively work towards an equal goal.
And the vision is to improve the quality of life by igniting the largest student-led social responsibility movement on the planet.
So this is the holistic model. You guys can take a look at the diagram, but basically as a volunteer with Global Brigades, you are working alongside local staff and community partners to resolve health and economic disparities. The holistic model focuses on sustainable health systems, in-home clean water, home sanitation infrastructure, economic development, education and capacity building, year-round community empowerment, collaboration and partnership, full-time local staff, monitoring and evaluation, and sustainable impact.
So the reason why we've chosen to go to Honduras is because at the moment they've got a lack of storage. So rural communities lack the proper infrastructure for storing water. Even if water is potable, it's often stored in buckets and barrels and not properly treated or protected.
And also distance. So primarily women and children have to walk 1.5 hours to the water sources nearest to their home for drinking, food preparation, personal hygiene and household chores.
So Engineering Brigades designs clean water systems that will later be built and implemented by the Water Brigades programme, and volunteers have the opportunity to assist in assessing community water needs, test water quality, water treatment, infrastructure development, community lead training, and facilitate hygiene, sanitation, and water education.
So this is where Global Brigades work, like the volunteer countries are the yellow and the programme countries are in blue.
And one of the most important things about Global Brigades is that it isn't volunteerism. So they work with the communities and ensure that they're making an investment so that it's completely sustainable. And it's specific to the in-home clean water programme. Once the water system is set up for a community, the water usage is monitored so that people get a fair amount for how many people are in the house and how much they use. So this gives an extra level of awareness and responsibility so the water isn't wasted.
So me and Ella actually went on a telebrigade in August in a community in Honduras called Guayacan, and there was 2,300 meters of piping measured and designed, 100 household connections measured and designed, 20,000 gallons of water storage tank designed, and 480 community members were served by the water system.
So this is one of the testimonies from the president of the Water Council. So this is basically what he said, and you can just read it.
For the first time in 3 decades. And if that wasn't enough, you slept with his nephew.
That last part isn't exactly true.
So now we have a fashion designer without a fashion show, which is almost as meaningless as an American who doesn't speak Spanish and a Parisian marketing firm.
So let me just talk to him.
You are get out of my office.
So if anyone's interested in joining Global Brigades, we're doing an information evening next Thursday, 6 to 7. So you can get more details about deadlines and fundraising and things like that, and when we'll actually go on the brigade, and you can ask any questions that you have.
So we also have an email if you want to ask more questions, and we have a Facebook page that will have a lot of updates, and there's also an Instagram, and the general Global Brigades website is also there. Yeah, so does anyone have questions? We can try and answer some of them. Okay, so the one is, if COVID continues and doesn't allow people to travel, what are we going to do? So there's an option of doing a telebrigade, which is like the one that me and Caitlin did this summer. So it's online. So I think it takes place over 7 weeks, and it's a couple of hours a week. And you're basically doing very similar stuff to if you actually went to Honduras, but obviously it's online. So that would be an option that we could consider. Yeah, it is available for postgrad students. Anyone's welcome. You don't even need to be doing engineering to join.
I can also see questions about why we joined the society. I joined because I just think it's great that it's not kind of volunteerism, and the way they use the holistic model, they kind of consider everything that keeps the poverty cycle going. So they're empowering communities to actually permanently kind of rise out of poverty, and you can actually help people. And there's a team that works in the actual countries year round to make sure that the impact that we make on the brigade is actually sustained. So that's fine.
Yeah, I think the idea that it's not volunteerism was really important for me as well. And there's also an amazing team that work at Global Brigades that are super helpful, and it's really easy to get involved, and they're really supportive, and like any questions you have, you can go to them for it. I think it's a really good way to also apply the knowledge that we get in the course, like when we're studying engineering, to a real world situation, and to help people at the same time. Are there any other questions? So if you want to join, we have an Instagram for the Global Brigade. So if you just message that, or you can message the Facebook group, the email, they were all on the slides before, but we can put them somewhere.
Yeah, I'll share the screen again of that, because if you join the Facebook groups, there'll be updates on that about like actual dates and things.
Yeah.
Is it sharing now? Can you see it?
But if you're interested, we definitely recommend coming to the information evening, because I will give a lot more specifics. For example, like the deadlines and how much we need to fundraise and stuff like that. Well, I think in Honduras, obviously, like, that's a project that we're quite excited. So hopefully we'll be able to do if coronavirus allows it. I think one of the really good things about the engineering brigades is that you can really work alongside the community. So that's quite exciting to do, but definitely Honduras is the main place that we're doing.
Yeah, I can get the link for you now. 1 second.
Yeah, there are workshops and sessions. At the moment, we're actually in the middle of the Global Brigades European Conference, which is really interesting. It's been lasting every evening this week, and it's on Zoom. I think usually it would be in person, but obviously at the moment it's on Zoom. It's really interesting, and we've been finding out a lot about the work that Global Brigades does. So the topic for yesterday was like the refugee crisis in Greece, which was really, really interesting to hear about. There's a lot of workshops like this that go on that like last a week and are in the evenings. I think this is the third one that I've done, but they're really good. There's a lot of resources. I think the benefits would be that you know that you're making a difference to a community across the world and you're really helping. And I think, like I said before, one of the really good things about it is that it's completely sustainable. So you know that even after you've left, like once your brigade's ended, you're still making a difference because you're teaching people to become self-sufficient, which is definitely a benefit. I know that there are a couple of other societies, not at Birmingham, that it's not self-sufficient and it's maybe slightly more voluntarism, but with Global Brigades, you know that it's definitely not voluntarism. We don't have a social event planned yet, but we do have the information evening next week.
And we could, if like quite a lot of people come to the information evening, we might kind of organize a Zoom kind of pub quiz thing, like virtual things like that. It just depends. Like we'll be planning them quite soon.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the end of the time, but if anyone has any other questions that they want to ask, feel free to message us. We put all the ways to message us. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi there. So welcome to the CAD Society section of the EPS Fair. We'd like to take this opportunity to tell you a bit about what we do, how we operate, what our plans are for the year, and let you get to know the CAD Society just a little bit better. So one of the main things we focus on is CAD. So CAD is computer-aided design. It's utilized in a lot of sectors in engineering, particularly the automotive and the civil industry. You'll find it everywhere though, even outside of the engineering industries, utilized for more things than I can count basically. It's used to develop and design ideas. So say for instance, someone wants to build like a chair or something, you can design it on a computer without having to actually design it in real life, saving people time and money. In engineering, we get first introduced to other softwares such as SolidWorks, MATLAB, code blocks, where you learn a little bit of C. Fusion 360 is just another kind of software for your toolbox. It's another way for you to utilize your engineering knowledge to create something specifically for the projects that you get introduced to throughout the year. Not only can you use it for like university projects, you can also use them for personal projects. I know quite a few people who will just use a bit of CAD to design something up when they're bored, or if they want to make something, they can do that too. So our aim as a society is kind of teach those who have never seen this software before how to use it, how to get to a moderately intermediate level with, and then go forward with that and design in their everyday life, be it whether they are an engineer or not. Our goal is to get everyone involved because why not? It's fun. But yeah, one of the main ways we accomplish this is by our corporate overlords. I'm just kidding. We have some sponsors that help us along the way. For instance, CAD, it's not CAD, sorry, Caterpillar and Autodesk. So I'll let Ewan talk a bit about those.
Okay, so hi guys, I'm Ewan. I'm the treasurer. So our first sponsor is Caterpillar. They're a leading company in the design and manufacture of machinery and engines. They have 3 primary sectors: construction, resource industries, and energy and transportation. So they sponsor us for our end of year industrial challenge, which was supposed to happen last year and has obviously had to be postponed. So we'll be doing that again this year, and hopefully it'll still be able to go ahead. And there'll also be further opportunities from them. We may have guest speakers come in to representatives from the company explain a little bit about them. And our other sponsor is Autodesk. So they are a 3D design company. They produce CAD software. The one we use is Fusion 360. They're our main sponsor, and they provide graduate and placement schemes for students. And they sponsor our engineers competition, and they come in every now and then to give us training on different aspects of their software using Fusion 360. So I'll pass over to Simon about Fusion.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, we use Fusion 360. So in first year of engineering, one of the softwares you get introduced to, and I mentioned briefly earlier, was SolidWorks. And while SolidWorks is used quite a lot in industry, it has a lot of pitfalls, particularly the fact that there's no collaborative share of any projects. One of Fusion's strongest points is you can collaborate on projects. I can work on something, say right here, right now, and edit it and create whatever it is I need to create. And I can send it off to, say, another engineer halfway across the world without any issues. They'd still be able to work on the project at the exact same time as me. They'll be able to see any edits I make, any changes, without having to download any additional files or have any files get lost in translation. So that collaborative workflow allows for much easier and much more efficient working on projects. It's also cloud-based, so nothing is specifically limited to the computer. For instance, I do a lot of my Fusion work on a little tablet that has no business running Fusion 360 on it, or you would think, but it handles it like a beast, and all the more computer-intensive stuff is handled in the cloud. The design is very intuitive. It's very simply laid out. It's very evident or obvious where everything is, and that makes it very easy to work with. It's also free on all OSs. Doesn't matter if it's Mac or Windows. Doesn't matter if it's an old laptop or a new one. I think it has to just be up to date with the most recent version of whatever OS you're using. But yeah, there's seamless integration between all devices as well. So you can work on, for instance, my tablet, you can work on it and then download on a Mac, it'll work just as well, then download it on another random computer and it'll work just as well. It doesn't matter what device it is, it'll be fine. There's also a view portal you can have on your phone, so you can quickly look at an object whilst you're on the go without actually working on it. And I personally feel there are no cons because that's sweet sponsor. No, I'm joking. Yeah, no, it's it's still in its earlier stages. It hasn't been around just as long as SolidWorks, but for the most part, there are no cons. And I think it's a very good software to use compared to the others out there. It's very user-friendly. Yeah, I'll just hand it over to Harpreet for him to explain a few of the examples that you can do with Fusion.
This year's CAD Soc teaching officer, and here's an example of what you can do in CAD. Here we've modeled a face mask during COVID to help with the pandemic, and at the bottom there's a drone. That's just some of the examples you can create in Fusion or CAD. What we're going to do is we're going to help you develop a new skill, and it doesn't matter what ability you are. You can be from a course that's not engineering related at all. So all levels are welcome, and yeah, we'll teach you CAD. This page is somewhat wrong. We are doing 1 hour sessions weekly on Wednesday, and there'll be a little time afterwards where you can ask us questions, and there'll be 2 sessions, one for beginners, one for intermediates. We'll be doing plenty of competitions, like engineers, where you create a drone, and then we in CAD, and we 3D print it for you. Then you get some motors and put it in the drone, and you can actually make it fly. And we have a little course that you can send it around. It's pretty fun. I think we're doing a competition every month, or that's the plan, and rewards hopefully. And that's it. To Ryan, I think.
Hi everyone, so I'm Ryan, I'm a third year mechanical engineering student, and for CAD Society I'll be the head makerspace manager along with Christos, who's not here at the moment, but so I'll walk you through. So at the moment we have 2 Ultimaker 3D printers, which we have dual extraction heads for them, along with PLA filaments, which is the main type of filament we use in different colors. So we have NFC enabled in our 3D printers, which enables us to read any color and any type of filament we need for that specific temperature, along with it adjusts temperature automatically and allows us to print it in lower quality. So we can have 2 3D prints going on at different times. Other than 3D printers, we also have 2 Stepcraft CNC machines, which can be used for milling head, 3D print head, and also laser to engrave and cut our material after we 3D print it. Moving on, so we plan to expand our makerspace. So hopefully we'll be one of the first societies to move into the new engineering building when it's open, hopefully sometime in semester 2. And we'll also look to increase our machining capabilities with more equipment, more 3D prints, more 3D printers, and hopefully new tool heads as well, so we could teach different forms of machining and so on. I'll hand back to Ewan to finish off on how you guys can join our society. Thank you very much.
Hi guys, so the 2 membership options, it's only £5 to join for the whole year, but £15 if you'd like a t-shirt as well. At the moment, because of COVID, you can't pay in cash, we can only accept bank transfer. You can see the sort code and account number on the slide here. In the future, if you want to look up how to join us, you can find us on our Instagram, our Facebook, or you can email us.
Thanks for joining us. We'll be available for a Q&A for the next few minutes. A couple of things to note as well. We're always looking to have new things. So we're always looking to try new ways of teaching the lessons, whichever works best for the students. We're always looking for new ways we can introduce competitions. For instance, right now we have a joint competition between ourselves and Space Society, where we have 2 levels of the competition. One where it's mainly for beginners. So we focus on a water jet / air pulsed rocket, so a little pressure chamber, and then we'll just see how far it goes. So that kind of allows you to plan out what would be the most aerodynamic kind of rocket, how best to design the pressure vessel, and a bunch of other different things you wouldn't normally think about with a kind of rocket thing. And then like the intermediate level would be like a rover. So we set design constraints for you, and you have to design a specific rover in the space provided with certain constraints. For instance, it has to fit like a 10mm spring, has to hold a certain amount of weight, has to be very stable, has to have enough ground clearance, and so on and so forth. So these kind of constraints make them challenging and really test your skills at the end of each competition. And we're always looking to do new competitions throughout the year. And yeah, like I said, if anyone has any questions, please do feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. Yeah. So for AutoCAD, we are aiming to run more of those sessions. We've only just started doing the normal Fusion sessions, and we're hoping that as time goes on and we have more access to more teaching facilities, we can provide more lessons on various other softwares. At the moment, we're focused solely on Fusion 360, but like I said, we're trying to expand. So we want to try and cater for some civil engineers by teaching BIM, which is a software they use in industry. Same with AutoCAD, which is a plan drawing kind of software used by both civils and mechanicals and a bunch of other different courses. So our aim is to try and touch on as many subjects as possible within a timely manner. Yeah. So the way you join is, first we go to our Facebook page, like all that good stuff. So if you see back on this page, so we ask that you sign up to the sign-up sheet that we have there, so we have your information, so we can get in contact with you. And then memberships are paid to our bank account, and we ask that you put your username as a reference so that we can cross-reference that with our sign-up sheet. Because it's all manual, you kind of have to do it by hand. So we try and ask that we try and make the process as easy as possible so we don't get lost in translation. I joined CAD Society because I absolutely love it. I use Fusion 360 literally every day of my course. So it helps to kind of get that knowledge base back in there. And it also started to bleed outside of my course. Like I started using it for personal stuff. I am creating a electric skateboard in my own time. And one of the things that I did was model the deck of my skateboard in Fusion, and then from that get the curve of the deck out, like extract it out, and then make an enclosure that fit the deck and that would flex with it. And then I chose specific filaments that would bend and flex and be strong enough to hold the electronics in there that would essentially be holding my life, and still be lightweight enough and cheap to manufacture. So I chose 3D printing to do that instead of other forms of like vacuum forming or, well, pretty much, yeah, instead of vacuum forming, because I felt like it was the easiest thing to do. And the university had the CAD Society, and it kind of just went hand in hand. I think I spent so much time in the makerspace, it was basically my second home. But yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's all. If you are interested at all, follow our socials, get in touch, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Have a good day.
Nice.
Just a little mic check. Can everyone hear me all right? Ooh. Oh, there we go. Cool. Can I? Yeah. Valeria, can you speak just to check?
Yeah, can I?
Cool. Yeah, that's fine. How are you, Dan?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool. Yeah. I guess I'll start. Hi, I'm Jackie. I'm the president of CSS. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm the sports rep of the CSS community.
Yeah, so I'm Valeria. I'm a second-year computer science student, and I'm the vice president for the committee.
Yeah, and I just realized we didn't actually say what CSS was. It's the Computer Science Society. But yeah, we're the departmental society for the School of Computer Science. We've prepared a little presentation, so I'll hand it over to Valeria and Dan.
Yeah, I'll share my screen. Okay, can you guys see it?
Yeah, you might need to go to the start.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so CSS. So I'm a second-year computer science student. As I said, I am the vice president now, and I joined CSS actually since I was the first year, and it's actually an amazing opportunity for you to like meet a lot of new friends, to like do fun stuff, and actually learn a lot of new things. So what exactly is CSS? As Jackie already mentioned, we are the Departmental Society of School of Computer Science. We have over 100 members now. Considering it's a pandemic, it's really good. And we had like over 290 in the previous years. We run a lot of events. We run quiz nights, board game nights. We run like hackathons, competitions, so a lot of things, and I'll share more about in the next slides. And we provide pizza. Of course, pizza is a thing that we do at this type of events, but on site. Okay, so these are a bit of things that we do. So we have welcome talks in which we share a bit about like the School of Computer Science, about the society, and more about the other societies that happen like in the School of Computer Science. We have pub nights that was actually like some sort of events that I joined a lot in the previous year, and I met a lot of friends like from second years, third years that gave me a lot of advice, which was really nice. We have tech talks and workshops. You should keep an eye on DSC. We had like Git workshops last year. It was like a really great opportunity to learn new things. We have meals, for example, the Ming Moon trip, which was really nice. It was a good opportunity to like see the city center and stuff. We have collab events, Halloween pub quiz, again, career events and board games night. We have special events, which are hackathons, a trip to Bletchley Park, and the CSS Ball, which is grandiose. Here are a bit of like images of some type of events. Like you can see the CSS Ball, then the local hack day, then we have the QuizKit hackathon. Again, we had like some training, and then everyone built like a product in the end. There were prizes and stuff, and also, of course, pizza. Here, there is like the wide image. Everyone wore the CSS t-shirts, and it was really nice because on the big photo, in the end, there was like a blue spot of us. Here is our dinosaur, our CSS dinosaur. Then we have the CSS Christmas meal, which was, again, a really nice atmosphere. Then we have the Git workshop. You can see like a lot of people joined. It was actually very productive. Again, CSS Ball and the board games night. Okay, here again, there's like plenty of CSS Ball photos. And we have also photos of
some sports, and our sports rep Danny can talk a bit about like what kind of events we did and we would do if like not the pandemic.
Hi, so I'm Daniel, I'm the sports rep, and I would like to tell you that we did a lot of sports events last year, and they encourage the students to work with each other, to play, to form a team, to be one, one as a team. We understand how important sport is in the life of a student, so we'll try our best to also have sports events during this term, but taking into consideration the government guidelines, we would focus more on online events like esports, gaming tournaments. We have a lot. We plan to do a gaming tournament in November. So we would like to see as many members as possible.
Yeah, thank you, Danny. Okay, so a bit of upcoming events. So we have the EGM upcoming, where we will elect some of the positions for the committee. We have Hack the Midlands, which is a hackathon that would normally happen in the city center in Birmingham, and CSS would have been there, but like now everything will happen online. So definitely join us. Hackathons are a really great opportunity to like learn a lot of the things and actually build something for a CV. We will have the Halloween quiz upcoming, some career workshops, for example, a CV workshop, and some tech workshops. So keep an eye on the next DAC workshops that are coming. We also have the Discord server. Danny, if you could share a bit more.
Yeah, sure. One thing that we're very proud of is our Discord server. So far, it's the best way of communicating and engaging with our wonderful community. As you can see, we have dedicated channels for everyone's needs. So, for example, if you're struggling with I don't know, some trouble with your computer or something like that, you can ask on the tech support. There'll be a lot of amazing people willing to help you. If you are a fresher or just new to the CS community, feel free to use the introduction channel. As you can see in the bigger image, a lot of people try to present themselves, and maybe you can share your hobbies and find people that have same interest as you.
Yeah, thanks, Danny. So this is the time for Q&A. Maybe Jackie can share.
Yeah, I can help out with that. Thank you for the presentation. Now, are there any questions? Oh, if not, I could just like talk about, I don't know, how my PC isn't working. That's very computer science-y, isn't it? Ah, there's a question here. What's your favorite thing about CSS? I mean, personally, I really love the sense of like community that it gives, especially for the computer science department, because in CSS you have like people from all parts of the department, like PhD students, people in their final year, people in their first year, and that seems to be like really not, well, you don't seem to get that in many places, but I think CSS does it very well. I don't know if you guys agree.
Yeah, definitely. Like
Yeah,
I think for me, CSS was actually like a very very welcoming like place. Since I was like an international student, it was very nice to like come to CSS like events, and I think the most valuable part was to actually like meet a lot of second years, final years that like shared a lot of advice. It was like really welcoming. Really welcoming society. And also I really enjoyed like the events, for example, the board games night, which was like actually like staying with lecturers and like talking with them. It was like very, very nice environment.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. We work very close with the like School of Computer Science as well, so we get on quite well with like teachers and lecturers and stuff. Ooh, there are questions in the Q&A thing. how can I get involved or join the committee? Well, that's an excellent question. We have an EGM coming up, which we haven't announced as an event, but we have set on a date, and that more news on that. But that should be, I think, at the end of October. Yeah, and I'll be on a Wednesday. But more info on that soon. If you want to, there will be 3 positions that will be opening up for that people can run for. I think it was international rep, first year rep, which you can only run for if you're a first year, and postgraduate taught, which you can only run for if you're, for example, a postgraduate master's student. So if you want to get involved on committee, you can use that. Otherwise, if you have ideas for events or just anything else we can do, you can just talk to any member of committee and suggest things. Like, you don't have to be on committee to help run events, but yeah.
About joining the society, I mean, we can share the links to like our
yeah.
page.
Yeah.
In order to vote in the EGM or run for a position, you do need to be a member, and that's just £5 on the Guild website. And there may be stuff happening with we're looking into getting things to members if you're a member, but more to be announced on that.
There's another question.
Yeah.
Is there gonna be anything so that we can meet people in person? We don't know exactly for the first term if we'll have like face-to-face events, but definitely we'll look forward in the second term, depending on the evolving of the pandemic. I don't know exactly. Maybe you are lucky with sports if we manage to, I don't know, do a joint team with different societies, because so far we don't have enough players, for example, to have a hockey team or a football team. So that the big chances in sports.
Yeah, just to be transparent about this, it's like really dependent on like what we're allowed to do by the guild, and also because we want to put on events that are safe for our members, right? We don't want to put anyone at risk. So yeah, it'd be great if we could, but we're looking into it. Maybe this term, maybe not. I think the closest thing we might get to is, like Dan said, the sports stuff, but next term, fingers crossed, hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. If we do, we'll make sure to publicize it a bunch. Yeah. Ooh, cool. Another one. What sports can we join?
So CSS has teams in football, I think hockey. So far you can join in a lot of sports, but as I said, we don't have that much members to form teams, and we can exactly have matches. But yeah,
there are definitely plans to maybe have sports if there's enough involvement.
Yeah.
But that depends on there being involvement.
Yeah, we actually posted a few days ago an announcement about a hockey team with the Chemistry Society. So if you are interested in hockey, that's still available, so you can join.
Is that on our Facebook group?
Yeah, on our Facebook. Yeah.
Just
to let everyone know. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, we're also planning on doing esports, which is not necessarily in person, but still count as sports. So
yeah, it's a great way to, I don't know, to engage with other people, maybe form a team, win.
Gotta get that sweet esports money.
Yep.
What would the esports look like? Well, to be honest, Dan would know more about this than I do.
How the esports would look like? We'll basically have a gaming tournament, something like a ECL CSGO tournament or something like that, but not that big, of course. Something smaller for members of our society, and also with other games like non-team games. Maybe we can have something. Civilization 6, if someone is interested. It's a very nice game and a long game. So yeah.
yeah, like definitely if someone has like suggestions, feel free to contact any of us.
Yeah.
What made you want to be? I think this might be the last question. Okay. What made you want to be on committee? Oh boy. I just really like CSS as like a community, and I thought, well, I mean, I went on committee in second year, and that was purely on a whim. Like I was only at the EGM for free pizza, to be honest. But and then I ran for a position that was free. But it was a really fulfilling experience. Like genuinely, probably one of the best decisions I made when I was at university, because like I got to participate in so much stuff. I found out how to like manage things, and then I was just like, oh well. When I come back from my year abroad, I might as well run for president, since like, why not? People said I'd be good. I think I'd be good. Yeah. What about you guys?
So I have to say that I was a bit scared at first joining the committee. I don't know why. It was the first time I did something like that, but it's amazing. I mean, there are a lot of amazing people in the committee, and as Valeria said, I felt in my first year very, very welcomed, and was great.
Yeah, I joined the committee like even from my first year, and I think like the motivation to it was to basically like learn and like get involved, because like coming to uni like abroad, it was like really nice to see that there's like so many opportunities to get involved in stuff, and like get like organizational experience, like stuff like that. So yeah, also like the committee is really amazing, and the people here are like really nice, and you can learn a lot from them. So yeah, definitely I recommend everyone to get involved in like any society.
Yeah. Not even just CSS. I mean, run for CSS positions, but just get involved in society. It's just great. I think, is that, how much time has passed? I don't know.
Yeah, I think the time is over.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Thanks.
But anyway, yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone. If you let us know when you're ready to. Okay. Yeah, we can wrap up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Follow our links. You can find basically everything at our website, which is cssbham.co.uk. Let me double check that. No, cssbham.com. That's it. Thank you. You can find everything on there. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
I mean, I don't think there's actually anyone here, so I'm pretty sure all of us are like in charge.
Okay, we've got 3 people here. Okay, so welcome everyone. This is our Societies Fair on CAMSOC, and welcome. We're happy to talk to you, and this is basically for chemistry students really. So if any of you are here, you are basically already part of the society, so welcome to CAMSOC. But yeah, we're going to talk a bit about it. I'm the sports rep, Lucy's the chair, so she's in charge of everything.
Makes it sound so aggressive.
Yeah.
But yeah, as Billy said, hi, I'm Lucy and I'm the chair. ChemSoc is a society that is free to join for all chemistry students. If you are a non-chemistry student, the only area you can join, sadly, is the sport, which Billy is in charge of. But we will get on with a presentation, which I can't screen share, that's fun. Oh, there we are. Can you see anything?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, EPS Fair. Here is our committee. There is 13 of us, and we all take care of different parts of the society. So yeah, here is the committee, and then here's just some general photos of various events. We host a range of things from charity events, which is the cake in the middle is from a bake sale, and the person who makes this cake always makes outstanding cakes. So that is definitely a highlight. Sadly, we have no bake sales going on at the moment because of coronavirus, but hopefully
doing a virtual one though.
Oh yeah, we might be doing a virtual one, so you know, look out for that. And then we host mixes and careers fairs, which is what's shown in the top left photo. And then Billy, if you want to talk a bit about sport.
Yeah, sure. So bottom right, we've got, I think that was the netball start of last year. We've got a netball team, a football team, and a mixed society hockey team, which is across a fair few societies in EPS and with another few schools as well. The sports are open for anyone to join. So even if you're not in ChemSoc, you can do. Spots are filling up pretty quick. So if you want to get in contact with me, do. I'm more than happy to have you if you're interested in playing any of them. And we have 11 aside, 6 aside for football, and then we have casual training, and that's Tuesday for the casual training, Sunday for the matches, and Wednesday for the 6 aside. Same for netball, Tuesdays the casual training, and Sundays the matches. And then the hockey, we only have the matches at the moment. We are looking into doing training, but yeah, if you fancy any of that, please get in contact with me, especially if you're part of ChemSoc and you haven't heard anything yet. Please let me know, because I'm trying to get out to you as much as possible, but it's a bit of a struggle obviously at the moment with a pandemic going on and me not being able to meet you in person. Bottom left, we actually ran a charity event. It was sort of charity run, so it was sort of sports related as well. Lucy, you did that last year, didn't you?
Yeah, I was involved in organising this last year. Basically, we combined with MathSoc, and I think it was about 50 of us went to the Birmingham Running Festival, and we ran a range of differences, 5Ks, 10Ks and half marathons, all to raise money for the Teenage Cancer Trust. Despite it was like actually kind of snowing when we got there, it was a really good day. And yeah, we raised over £5,000 for the Teenage Cancer Trust, which was like, we were not expecting that much. So it was a really good event, good fun, and all raise money for a good cause. We're looking to do something similar this year, maybe with all the EPS societies, but it's very much in the early stages of planning, so watch this space.
All presidents, look out for your emails.
Oh yeah, all presidents, watch out for emails, because I will be emailing you soon. But yeah, that was probably one of the highlights of ChemSoc last year, was that event, because yeah, sadly our annual Chem Ball got cancelled. So Chem Ball is like the end of semester 2. I think it's still called semester 2.
Yeah.
Event for all the chemistry students. It's black tie. So last year we had organised it and gone through all the processes and all that, and sadly, because of coronavirus, it got cancelled like 2 days before it was actually meant to be. I don't even know, but yeah, we went into lockdown. I think Chem Ball was on the Friday and we went to lockdown on the Monday, which was really sad because it meant we didn't get a Chem Ball last year, even after having organised the whole thing. But hopefully this year we'll
more motivation to run a better one this year.
Yeah, we're gonna run a bigger and better one this year with 2 years worth of experience. But yeah, that's like the big highlight usually on chemistry calendar. So let's hope we can get one in this year in March or maybe even July, who knows.
Hopefully things will have calmed down a bit by then.
Yeah, so you got anything else to add to any of that, Billy?
I don't think so. That's most of the stuff we put on last year. We haven't done it. We had a very successful Freshers Week. I don't know if any of you took part in it, but our events reps put on a full week of events. Pretty much, we had a games night, a quiz, another quiz that was for all of chemistry, and a speed networking thing. It was more speed friending for freshers, but we'd be looking to do lots more of that over the next few months, just to try and keep you from being too bored during your isolation or stuck at home all the time, because it's not fun looking at a computer screen all day every day doing lectures. But yeah, questions? Is there any questions?
Yeah, we have a question. I have a Q&A slide. It's kind of boring compared to the other ones, so we'll stay on this. So what have been your favourite bits of being part of ChemSoc since starting uni? So obviously in first year I wasn't on the committee, and I thought first year it was just such a great opportunity to like get to know people. Like obviously we haven't been able to have a bar crawl or anything this year, but I went on the bar crawl and made lots of my friends through that. And then for the last 2 years I've been on committee, which has been really nice because it's meant I've got to know other chemistry students in other years much better, and it's fun kind of knowing exactly like what events are always going to be on. And yeah, I like contributing to the society that gave me like all of my friends in first year. Oh yeah, in first year as well, the netball team literally had like my whole friends group in it. So yeah, ChemSoc has been the source of most, like pretty much all of my friends. So yeah.
Yeah, no, as Lucy said, very, very social society, really. Like it's just really helped to, as Lucy said, the bar crawl first week, unfortunately, it didn't happen this year, but you always fun with like, and we tried to make things as much fun virtually this year as possible, because that is basically what ChemSoc is. It is trying to encourage all of our students to get to know each other, and we just like creating a nice community within the school, and that is what ChemSoc achieves really through Chemball, through sports, through events. It's always really social and getting people to know each other as well as possible. And it's just, yeah, the sense of community is the best part, and it's generally always fun, and usually events are for good causes as well, because we work with quite a few charities.
So another question, are there many employability related events or links with industry in the society? So we have a careers rep. Last year we had a careers networking event like mixer, and we were meant to have one with external companies and stuff, but sadly that got cancelled due to coronavirus. But we did manage to have like a practice one with the academics and postgrads and postdocs within the department to get to learn about what they've been doing since their undergrad degrees and stuff. This year we are planning to do an online version of the in-person event we had planned last year. So we're getting in contact with companies to do with chemistry directly, and then maybe not so much directly with chemistry, but they employ chemists. And then they're going to do like a Zoom breakout room equivalent of a careers fair thing for chemistry students.
Very much down the road, that kind of thing. We're trying to get in contact with as many companies as possible, but it is a very difficult time. So Harry, who's our careers rep, is working tirelessly on that.
Yeah. Next question, can you tell us a bit about what you're doing for Black History Month? It looks great. Yes, that is like the diversity inclusion rep has been like nailing the Instagram stories. They're so good. So every, I think 2 or 3 days it is, we're putting up an Instagram story about someone from like ethnic minority groups who's in chemistry and has done some significant research just to like raise awareness of minority groups within chemistry. But yeah, go and check out our Instagram, which is at UOB ChemSoc. And there is a story highlight with all of the history bits in it. Yeah, go and check it out because it's so interesting.
I'll grab the social links and put them in the chat.
Yes,
I'll go
I
get
should have
them.
done that last night on the PowerPoint. Oops. But yeah, any more questions? Feel free to ask while we find the social links. Yeah,
we grab them and put them in the chat.
What made you want to be on committee? So as I said before, ChemSoc was very much the source of like a lot of my closest friends in first year. So I wanted to be able to give other people the chance to experience that. And then also with that, in my second year, a lot of my friends decided to join on to the committee as well. So we just kind of decided to do it together. But yeah, I wanted to stay on the committee for 2 years. I was actually meant to be on a year abroad this year, and my year abroad got cancelled on the day that the committee election deadline was. So as soon as my year abroad got cancelled, I like wrote a quick application to stay on committee this year because I enjoyed it so much last year, and I wanted to be chair to have a bigger input into the runnings of the society.
Yeah, if you want to find the Facebook link, I'll talk about why I joined if you want.
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, well, yeah, same again, similar to Lucy. I just really enjoyed all of the sports events. I've been in the football team for chemistry for 2 years, and I was involved with the netball quite a bit as well, just to help out a lot. And yeah, I just wanted to get involved in running it really and get as many people interested in sport this year because I enjoy playing it, and I wanted to try and create a better community with it. So getting as many people to join as possible, especially during a pandemic, is just it's a good way to make yourself feel happier getting outside and playing some sport, I think. So getting as many people involved as possible, and I just really wanted to help out and give back to the society, really, because they've helped me make friends and stuff as well the last 2 years. So getting involved was something I was definitely interested in, and I'm lucky enough to get elected to the society. So
yeah, definitely get involved with the sport because it's for all abilities, and considering it's the only thing that you can do in person at the moment, it's just a no-brainer to get involved. Like literally there are complete beginners in all the teams, so don't let that put you off joining.
there's no trials or anything like that. I've had a few questions about that, but no, there's no trials. We're not that competitive, so just you're welcome to join if you want to get involved.
Any more questions?
I
think that's in the chat. Yes. If there's no more questions, then oh no. Oh yeah. Okay, I'll finish screen sharing. Yeah, if there's no more questions, then that is us. Does that worked? Yeah. I'm so bad with Zoom.
Yeah,
I should be better at this by now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ramsha, and I am the president of the UBVR Society. I'll just be turning my video off because my internet's not the best. So we'll just carry on with audio for now, if that's okay. Right, so welcome to the UBVR Society Fair. So my name is Ramsha, and I'm the president of the society. Here are the other committee members of our society. So we've got Maria, who's the vice president, Arushi Madan, who's the treasurer, and Nicola, who's our secretary. And I'm joined here by Arushi today as well.
Hi, everyone.
Thanks, Arushi. And so just to get started, I just want to talk a little bit about what's virtual reality. So if on the off chance this is the first time you've heard about it. So virtual reality is essentially when you create an artificial experience using a computer to provide a unique experience to the user. So normally you would have seen people putting on headsets, and through the headset, they can view a virtual world that was created by someone using different platforms. Now, there are also different terms like augmented reality and mixed reality, which can confuse people sometimes. So just to break that down for you today, the difference is for virtual reality, you would normally be using a headset to view a completely different world from your current surroundings, for example. But what augmented reality does is it takes a very similar approach to VR, but instead of being in a completely different world, the artificial and computer generated objects are added into real environments. So, for example, if you think of the game Pokemon Go, that's a really good example that a lot of people would know about. So, in that game, you would use your phone, and you would use the camera on your phone to just look at anything around you. And what the app would do is generate the Pokemon characters and show them on your screen as if they're there in the real world. So you can interact with them, throw a ball at them, capture them, and so on. So that's augmented reality. And mixed reality takes that a step further, where it merges those two. So you use a headset, but the headset basically augments your own reality. So it adds the objects that were generated using a computer program into the current world, and you can interact with it using either your hands or sensors that can be supplied sometimes. So moving on, what is Unity? If no one's ever heard about Unity before, it's a free 3D development engine for building games, simulations, and experiences. It's the easiest way to begin making apps for XR. So XR is the short form for mixed reality. And like I mentioned before, that includes both VR and augmented reality. So Unity is used as the main tool for our society. Now, you don't need to be a computer science student or a developer to use Unity. They have their own tools within the app that makes it really easy to make any kind of application without knowing any coding. But if you do want to go more in depth and create, very high-end games and apps, what we recommend is learning C#. So that's a coding language. Now, that brings us on to what is UBVR? So that's us, the UOB Virtual Reality Society. And we're based in the ETL, which is the Emerging Technologies Lab within the CTL building. So I tried to get a video of the lab for you so that we can do a bit of a virtual tour, but unfortunately the lab's not accessible at the moment. So you can just see the CTL building on the side there. So the aim of our society is to give all students from across the university an opportunity to use and learn more about VR. So within our lab, we have access to like a really large range of different headsets and equipment that we've been able to get through the university. And our society is open to all members of the university, so all staff and students from any course at the university. So during the year, we aim to do projects in partnership with the Faculty of Engineering and CTL, as well as working on any personal projects. So if anyone has any ideas for VR or AR apps they want to develop, get in touch with us and we'd love to hear more. So the society is split into two parts. We have the development team and the social side, and I'll be talking a bit more about that in just a minute. So in terms of academic support, we have two lovely members, staff members who are supporting our society. We've got Ed Key, who's part of the CTL staff and also a member of HIFI. So that stands for the Higher Education Futures Initiative. And what he does is essentially to support staff in developing and delivering innovative and inclusive research-intensive teaching. So in simple terms, he looks into a lot of the new methods of technology we have and how we can apply them into teaching and creating applications for students to use and learn better. So he is the main coordinator between us and the CTL, and he helps us in managing the lab and all the equipment that we have. Next is Professor Bob Stone, and he's the chair in interactive multimedia systems within the Engineering Physical Sciences department, as well as the director of the HIT team. And Bob is a bit of a XR pioneer in the industry. He's been a VR veteran for like over 34 years. And he's worked on numerous projects, both within industry and academia, and won lots of awards for it as well. So he's the mentor for our society, and we're hoping to, so we're hoping to get him, to come to our society to deliver some speeches and just attend some events to talk a little bit more about the kind of projects that he's worked on and the scope of VR in the industry today. So going back to the split up of the society, our development team is made up of people who already have experience with the Unity software. So ideally, they'd know some coding in C#, and they form the main pool of developers for the VR and AR application. So they will receive in-depth training in the Unity software during the whole year. And they also have access to the ETL lab and equipment at any time. They also have the responsibility of providing support and training for our social members. Now, if you're a new member and you don't have as much experience with Unity, you can always progress onto the development team anytime within the year once you have increased your skills and knowledge a bit. And if you show enthusiasm for VR and you have the ability to learn quickly and work with others, we're happy to take on new members on the team anytime in the year. Going on to the social team, that's our current plans for that is to run fortnightly workshops. So we'll be delivering these workshops and just introducing you to the Unity software, start learning a bit more about how to use it, and just start getting started on developing small applications. By the end of the year, we hope to run a competition. So at the moment, the plan is it could be like an indie game style competition where you make your own independent game with a group of others, and it will be judged in a democratic way, so through voting. And we'll have prizes for various categories, and we have a lot of interesting giveaways that we have in plan for that. We'll also be running friendly socials throughout the year, and Arushi will be talking a bit more about that later. So for term 2, our plan is to run more intensive training on each aspect of Unity. So you can be looking at how to place the cameras within your application, or how to make your application usable on the headsets, on VR, on augmented reality. So in various aspects, we'll be going in more in depth, and that's for whoever's interested. We'll also be keeping up with the normal training, so people can carry on with the beginner workshops if that's the pace they want to go to. And we hope to also have more regular competitions in term 2 and 3. And if anyone's keen, they can start working on projects. So that can be either personal or with staff. So a lot of our staff-based projects are, kind of are hosted by staff across the university who are interested in developing these apps for their courses. And we've been in touch with them, and they'd like us to help develop those apps. Cool. So Arushi will be taking on from here to talk you through our plans for the year. Go on, Arushi.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ramsha. So once again, just very quickly to introduce myself, I am the treasurer for the society. I'm helping Ramsha to run the society, and as a committee, we're very flexible amongst our roles. So what I'll be talking about today is just how we're all going to be interacting together as a society. This is the first year of us running the society, so we really want that we all build a family sort of an environment wherein we all get really close, not just in terms of our technical abilities, but also just as friends. So Ramsha, if you just want to go to the next slide. Perfect. So we have various plans for our socials. The first of which is obviously fun game nights. Who doesn't like game nights, I think, is why we arrived at this conclusion. So we'll play either Among Us, which is a big trend now, or Scribble.io, which is the game like Pictionary. Basically, any games that will help all of us build a team. A good team and a good family sort of environment is what we'd love to indulge in. We'll also have virtual meetups. So maybe just a Zoom meeting this year for getting to know everybody and seeing where they stand with their technical abilities, how we can help one another. And obviously then we'll be able to socialize with other societies within the University of Birmingham and also outside. I was talking to Ramsha the other day, and she said that she's in contact with societies at the University of Leeds, which deal with augmented reality and virtual reality. Again, in the future, we'll hopefully host a conference with them, or we'll mingle with them in certain ways, just so we can all alleviate our technical abilities through the society, whilst having lots and lots of fun via socials. Yeah, Ramsha, thank you. In terms of the committee roles, as of now, Ramsha has already introduced, we are 4 people on the committee. We're also going to be opening out quite a few other roles like social media reps, etc. These will be put up on our social media, so you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We'll put information about these roles by the end of, should we say, Sunday. So by Sunday, you'll have more details about the open roles within the committee, how you can join our committee. We're looking for anyone who really wants to join the committee and be passionate about building the society. It is a great opportunity to be a member of the inaugural committee. So we're the first committee who's going to be running this. So it really is going to be built upon fundamentals that we decide. And it will be a great experience to write and mention about in interviews or on your CV, to say that you've led a committee, you founded a committee, a society. And obviously it demonstrates leadership, which all employers are looking for in this time. And it helps give you that extra edge when you're trying to get a job in this pandemic, for sure. So yes, just once again, keep an eye out on our social media. We've put the handles up on the screen. So it's at UB Virtual Reality on Facebook and Instagram, and it's UBVR on LinkedIn. We'll also be sending out a mail to everyone who fills out a form in the end. Yeah, Ramsha, if you can go to the next slide where we have the QR code. So we have the QR code on here on this slide. And if you can just scan this on your phone, we'll leave the slide on for a couple of minutes. If you can fill on the form, this is just to express interest in our society. If you've done any projects, you can also answer a few questions that we have on this form. Your level of experience, this just helps gauge which team you'd fit better, the development team or the social team. And from there on, we can go to see how the society would progress. So if you can fill your email IDs and everything on this form right away, that would be great. And then we'll send you the detailed plan about the society, the committee roles that are open, and a description of all the roles by the end of Sunday. And yes, if you have any questions, please ask us in the chat box below, or you can also mail them to us at email ubvr@gmail.com, or you can also check out our EPS Societies page, which is right there on the slide. Ramsha, have I missed anything? Anything you want to add?
No, thanks, Arushi. So if anyone's got questions, we're happy to take them now. I'll stop sharing my screen in just a moment, so you have your last chance to scan the barcode now, everyone.
Yep. Once again, if anyone has any questions, please ask it through the Q&A function on the Zoom meeting that we're in now. So using the Q&A function, which is right on the bottom. Right, we've got a question for you, Ramsha, if you want to start answering it now.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the question is from Alex, and he asks, why did you join or found this society?
Okay, so I can see the question was, how much will it be to join the society? So initially, we're a completely free society, so we're not taking any membership fees this term. That might change in semester 2 or the next year, depending on when we become a guild society. But for the moment, it's free, so why not join? Right, so the second question was, how can you get in touch with the society and where will the social events be held? So you can see all our social media handles on the page. You can contact us through any of these platforms. I think email is the one I'm best at responding to, but as soon as we get a social media rep, we'll be more up to date with all our social media pages as well. In terms of social events, so for the first term, obviously, given the pandemic, what we'll be doing is hosting all of our events online. So there will be virtual events, and you can go follow us along at your own pace. What we've managed to do is get in touch with IT services and get the Unity software installed on a lot of the computers within campus so that you can access these computers using the student remote cluster that's available now. So if you go online on the IT services page and look into the student remote clusters a bit more, essentially what it does is allow you to access any computer on campus running any particular software that you want. So if you don't have any computer that's gaming ready or already has Unity installed on it, you can just use the remote clusters and access Unity and build your game along with us during the event. For term 2, we're still looking into that, so it depends on how the situation is. If it gets any better, we hope to have socially distant events, but they will still be carried on online virtually as well. So anyone who can't attend in person can carry on and attend them virtually. Okay.
I'm just going to repeat what Ramsha said really quick, just to summarize. Ramsha, sorry, we couldn't hear you very clearly. As for the society joining fee, there is no joining fee. As of now, it's free. As for how you can get in touch with the society, you can contact us by email, which is right up on the screen now. You can also connect with us on our social media. So it's at UB Virtual Reality on Facebook and Instagram. You can also just give us a shout via email or just chat to us on Facebook if you find us individually as committee members. Lastly, on LinkedIn, you can also contact us and message us. It's UBVR on LinkedIn. Where will the social events be held? Ramsha said that because it's the pandemic going on, so obviously it's going to be virtually. We'll have a few game nights and everything all done via Zoom or Microsoft Teams as we see fit. A lot of the training sessions for Unity will also be taken over by Zoom or any virtual teaching platform. We can go through syllabus together on Zoom just as a group study session. But yeah, that's what Ramsha said. So if you have any more questions, please ask us in the Q&A section or just send us an email or connect with us on our social medias. Just got another question about what's your favorite thing about a society? Ramsha, if your sound quality is clear, please answer that. But I'll start off by saying I absolutely love how in this society I not just get to make friends, but I'm also building my technical abilities. As Ramsha introduced, I study engineering, and knowing enough about virtual reality, about Unity, about C# really helps me get an edge over any of the other applicants who are studying, let's say, just engineering. So I know more than what my syllabus is teaching me, but it's also a really fun way to learn about virtual reality with friends. That's my absolute favorite thing about the society, and also the fun socials, I have to say. Ramsha, what's your favorite thing about the society?
Sorry, my internet's not too good right now. I think definitely just the chance to explore the world of VR. So the access that we have to the makerspace and all the equipment that we have there, it's such a good opportunity. And especially if you think about how VR is so upcoming right now, there are so many industries, everything from engineering, manufacturing, healthcare, all looking into how to use VR more now that we have to be socially distanced, and the modes of teaching are becoming more bimodal, so not everyone can be sitting there in a lecture room attending teaching. So it's a really good opportunity to learn more about this sector. And hopefully, if for those of you who are really interested, and if you realize that this is something you really enjoy, it's the perfect opportunity to take this further as a career by just developing your skills, get involved with the development side, and build your portfolio as much as you can. There are definitely a lot of projects that we will be working on during the year. So if that's something you're interested in, you can get in touch with us, and we can connect you with different staff members who can help you, and you can work together with them to build your projects and your portfolio.
Just to quickly add on to Ramsha's point, if you're studying electronic and electrical engineering and you're doing an ME degree, and in your fourth year, you're going into the computer engineering specialization, there's a formal module by the university, which is called Virtual and Augmented Reality, which is delivered by Dr. Neil Cook. So what we do in the society fits in quite well with what's delivered in the module, especially if you're going to study that module and you have experience with Unity and C# from the society, you've worked on projects with the society, it's going to give you a better edge, not just in terms of marks, but just experience talking about it to employers and whatnot. Ramsha, we have two more questions. One of the questions is, when is the next society event?
Yeah, so I'm just answering some of them live. I am conscious that we are outside of our time now. So, Grace, is it okay if we should we hand over to the next? Hello?
Ramsha, Grace has said we can carry on for another few minutes.
All right, perfect. So someone's asked what's the number of people that can get involved in any project. So we haven't kind of given any specific number of people we'll take for any one project or the development team at the moment. It will all depend on the skills of the members and the scope of the project. So if it's a really big project, you might need lots of different people, and they can all be specialized in different aspects. So you can be a coder, you can be more of a visual artist or a sound artist, and given the scope, if it's a really large project, we might have multiple people with the same roles all involved, just to just to make the project easier to work on. If it's a small project or a personal project, you can carry on ahead and lead it yourself if you're good enough to kind of lead the team. So you can find other committee members who might be interested in any personal project, and you can become kind of the project leader and pick your own members. Or if it's a project that we have selected, we'll pick out the members to work on it, and we'll see how it goes. And it might just change the number of people, but we'll keep you updated on that as we go ahead, throughout the year.
There's no kind of project, and the depth of the project. If there's a huge project which requires artists, visual artists, and obviously coders or programmers, then we'll put those kind of people together. Obviously, it's not us assigning people in one team. It's just who we see fit, or who everyone sees fit into the team. I guess as many number of people can work on the project as is necessary to finish each and every feature of the project.
Okay, so I think this will be the final question now. What is the next event? So the first event will be hopefully next week or the week after. Right now, the main thing we'll be doing is getting the committee set up. So like Arushi mentioned before, the application for that will be live sometime this weekend. So if we get lots of applications, we might need to take some time the next weekend, next week. But once the committee is set up, we're looking into hosting further events. Right now, we're in discussions with the Lead Society about a potential collaboration sometime in November. So once the details for that have been finalized, we'll update everyone on our social media channels and also instructions on how to join and things like that. So if you want to keep up to date with everything to do with UBBR, join our newsletter by scanning the barcode on the last page. And yeah, just find us online as well. I'll put up the Google Doc on all of our social media channels tonight as well, in case anyone didn't get a chance to scan that yet. So you can all get added to our newsletter, and you'll be kept up to date with fortnightly emails. Okay. So I think we can wrap up now. Thank you very much, Grace, and everyone else who's helped set up this event. And we hope to see a lot of you sign up and at our future events. Hopefully.
Thank you so much, everyone. We hope you have a nice day.